All right, I'm back. Had dinner. I was on the feet. Yeah. So we're back. Oops, sorry for hitting the microphone there. We're back. Last time, uh, Battler got impaled. Uh, and the witches decided just fuck it. Let's just decide to make a whole new story on how Nazi was the murderer all along, regardless of whether or not it's true or not, because they just feel like it. They just really hate her. I guess. I don't know. Still not got no idea. And so yeah, Bella got impaled while Erica is just kicking Nazi while she's down and just kind of destroying everything she cares about because she's an asshole. Let's see how this ends. Does it feel like it's getting close to the end? But God, who even knows at this point? Is not Nazi really the culprit? Oh, now that you mentioned it, there is just one person behind Nazi that might be the culprit. What? Hey, you serious? Why didn't you say something that important sooner? Nazi-san, truth is there is one person besides you for whom the crime is possible. If you truly claim that you aren't the culprit, it means that person must be the culprit. You sure be a Kinzo-san. Ah, here we go. Yep, yep. If you accuse Kinzo-san of being the culprit, this entire case will be resolved. I have been entrusted with the honor of the Ishiramiya family, my father. Did you really think that I would defile father's honor? Ishiramiya family honor, just to clear away the false accusations made against me? If you intend to label me as the culprit and call that your own personal truth, then do whatever you like. I am sure that God knows of my innocence. Eventually he will prove it. That future will never come. I think truth is a fleeting thing. Even if I am a good person until my death, if some heartless person after my death overrides the record and says I wasn't a good person, as that is shared with everyone else, then even all the goodness in which I lived my life could be overridden easily. We call that cancel culture. And so I think that I won't live as a good person for all eternity. The rare truth of the previous game says that Kinzo was already dead. But that's not enough to satisfy you, right, Burn? I want to win my forcing Nazi to say she's resigned. Why don't you try it? Show us what you've got. From 24 o'clock until morning, Kinzo stayed in the same room. Kinzo does not exist anywhere outside the mansion. It does not exist outside the mansion. If Ginzo does exist, that means he must be somewhere inside the mansion. Do you have any idea where he might be hiding? But the fulfillment reaches, it's unthinkable that Kinzo-san could have been somewhere outside the mansion. So first off, I put extensive study of the third floor, where his study is. There's no way he could have been hiding. Kinzo is nowhere outside the mansion. Kinzo isn't on the third floor. He's in the basement. He's on the first floor. The only place he could exist is the second floor. So he's no place. Kinzo, no place to hide except inside Natsuki's room. Kinzo does not exist anywhere outside Natsuki's room. During the night between 24 o'clock and morning, there exists no place for a living Kinzo to exist except inside your bed. Oh shit. What? What do you mean by that? I have conducted thorough search of this room, and a detailed scientific examination this Kindo does not exist anywhere in this room between 24 o'clock and morning. However, your bed is the only exception. What the fuck? Yeah. Oh, great. Oh, jeez. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do after this. I mean, 100 line is, I mean, I've beaten it. I've 100%ed it, gotten all of the endings. It's kind of hard to, I don't know. But I mean, I play that all on Switch because it's easier to play that it's much more easier to play that portably. By my name is Game Master Lambda Delta. I acknowledge Lady Burn Castello as the victor of this game. If anyone has any objections, state your name now. No objections. Burn, this is your victory, and a wonderful victory it is. Now you must weave up the fragment of the truth. Sure, I'll go weave up the truth. This is the truth of this sad, pathetic tale. Though I did want Nancy to acknowledge her crime while half laughing, half crying. After all, that's standard in the genre, right? Okay, I wonder how long that's going to keep going after this. I guess, I mean, I'll keep going for a bit longer though. After being forced into a marriage he hadn't wanted, Nati developed a grudge against the Ushiromiya family and was filled with a desire for revenge. From the trial synopsis, page 3. Nati, also hoping to take revenge for the financial submission her parents' families had been forced into by the Ushiromiyas, schemed to capture the Ushiromiya family's wealth. From the trial synopsis, page 4. Knowing the wealth of the Ushiromiya family was, in practical terms, under Ginto's personal control, she initiated sexual relations to curry favor with him and marriage to ensnare him. Burncast Joel Docs, page 682. To curry favor with Kinzo, Natsu repeatedly imitated Beatrice, the witch of Kinzo's delusions, and engaged in sexual acts. Kinzo saw his long-lost mistress in Natsu and was easily ensnared. Furthermore, by chance, he was sometimes witnessed in disguise by the servants, and this became part of the foundation for the legend of the witch. Oh, God. However, late at night on October 4th, 1986, Ushiromiya Battler discovered the hidden gold. The relatives were in uproar and decided that Battler should succeed the headship, so Nazi planned the crime. She murdered the children in the so-called cousin room and tried to frame Battler for the crime. Furthermore, Genji was murdered for opposing this scheme. Later on, Hideyoshi was also murdered. From this point onward, she displayed the strong intent to indiscriminately murder all those involved. The following outlines details of the crime. 24 o'clock, October 4th, 1986. Nazi decided to commit the crime. She asked Genji to assist her but was refused, so she murdered him. She then murdered her husband Kraus in his own room. GC internal docs. What's GC? Is that the... No, I don't know. Is the GC the stuff of... No, that's Ein's friend Jungfrau. I've got no idea anymore. Afterwards, she went to the so-called cousin room on the second floor of the guest house, waited for Rosa to join the rest, and killed Georgia, Reska, and Maria and Rosa. She damaged the neck of those corpses. Afterwards, because there were people in the lounge on the first floor, she waited in an empty room on the second floor. She hid in this empty room until the people in the lounge dispersed and went to bed. The people in the lounge dispersed after 3 a.m. Natsuki left the empty room and escaped from the guest house. She returned to her personal room where she met up with Kinzo, who'd been hiding there. She stayed there until morning. Kinzo left the room early the next morning and concealed himself somewhere near the guest house. Afterwards, Kinzo saw his chance and carried off the corpses of the 6 victims one by one, hiding them. Unfortunately, these hidden corpses have not been found. Natsuki had failed in her scheme to cast suspicion on Battler, changed her plan to include the murder of all present. Predicting that one of those present would eventually want to take a rest in a private room, Natsuki concealed herself inside a closet in one of the guest rooms. At about 1 p.m., she had murdered Hideyoshi after he entered that room. From the time the others became aware of the incident to the time that they carried Hideyoshi's corpse out, Natsuki once again concealed herself in the closet. Furthermore, as proof of this, a button from Natsuki's clothes was found in the closet. Afterwards, she left the closet and tried to return to her room. However, Furudo Erika found her and questioned her first, and she confessed to the crime. I've got no idea what any of this means. DC official notice number 01724434. Due to the result of illusion trial number 0147/007982, 24 o'clock, October 5th, 1986, we announce that the following has been determined. Ushiro Miyanazuki did admit to her crime. For 13 months following this announcement, related docs may be pursued at the Great Court Legal Offices, Document Management Center, first subsection. Okay, GC is Great Court then. Great Court Deputy Chief. Head Inquisitor of Heresy. Lana Ray Knox. Okay. Thanks. Thanks. Now what? Then let's all assume I did it, okay? That's what you want me to say, right? Are you satisfied now? This is what you wanted to make me say, right? This is your revenge, isn't it? You, the man from 19 years ago. I'm sure that man's underling was one among us here. I'm sure that right now that man is ridiculing me through one of you. And tell me, are you happy now? Has a bit of that pain and suffering you've endured for 19 years gone away? I finally understand. The reason you've cornered me so far is because you wanted to make me acknowledge that, right? Natsuki-san, other than us, there's absolutely no one here. Please stop this insanely desperate charade and quit pretending that someone who doesn't exist actually does. Kai committed murder. So, you finally acknowledge your crime directly. No, this is not about what happened today and yesterday. I will confess to a murder that occurred 19 years ago. 19 years ago, I committed a sin. I couldn't forgive it. That baby. Baby? Now what are you talking about? On that day 19 years ago, Father entrusted me with a baby. Since I still couldn't bear a successor on my own, Father told me to adopt a child, and he made me hold a baby that he said had been brought here for an orphanage. Do you have any idea how humiliating that was to me as a woman? Then I sold my soul to demons. It happened when I went to walk through the rose garden to the harbour, along with a servant holding the baby. I wanted to be alone. That female servant holding the baby faithfully followed me everywhere. I was unable to even tell her to stop following me, and therefore unable to escape from the child's crying. That day marked the beginning of 19 long, headache-filled years. Then we faced the cliff from across the fence. If by taking that baby and throwing it down onto the rocky beach far below me, I could undo it all, I really did listen to that demon's temptation. Then, for the smallest of moments, I thought of how wonderful it would be if I could really do that, and lent an ear to that temptation. At that time, the servant holding the baby stepped on a large rock, twisted her ankle, and staggered. She leaned against the rough fence, and at that time, I thought I heard the fence creak loudly. I told her to look out and tried to grab her shoulder. No, I shouldn't be so vague. I'll repent. I'll confess. At that moment, I'm sure that, as I told her to look out, with both hands, I reached for the servant's shoulder, and with a thud, pushed her away hard. Oh no. Even though I remember that moment vividly, for some reason I recall a vague and very strange feeling. It almost felt as though instead of falling, two of them were silently swallowed up into empty space, so I didn't even hear the sound of them crashing into the rocky beach. No, I'm sure I heard it, but because I wanted to think that they disappeared, I must have erased that sound from my memory. And then, for an instant, I thought it was a dream. It was high enough I couldn't see the two of them below me by just leaning over, so I didn't know whether their fall, or the few seconds before that, had actually happened or not. I must have been wishing so strongly that the child would fall, that I just had a daydream. Trying to make myself believe this, I hurried to the rose garden. Then I decided to let the servant take care of the baby, choosing to rest alone in the garden. Then Father asked what happened to the baby, and an uproar became over the disappearance of a servant who had been in charge of it. Eventually the broken fence was discovered, and 2 corpses were found at the bottom of the cliff. The child had apparently been here for reasons that couldn't become known, so its existence was hushed up, and the official story was the servant had had an accident on her own and died. That's right, I stole away 2 innocent lives in one go. And as for the poor servant, her family was graciously compensated. Her aged husband, who didn't know the truth, accepted this, even though he grieved over the unfortunate accident. And just a few years ago he died of old age, and I confessed the truth over his grave, apologizing. But until this day, I've never apologized to that baby. Yes, that's what you're after, isn't it? So, right here, right now, I'll confess to my crime. I, Ushiromiya Natsuhi, did 19 years ago, pushed you off a cliff and tried to kill you. But you didn't die, did you? You're still alive, and you still call me mother. You came to this island and took your revenge on me, didn't you? For these 19 years, you knew that the one who you should have called your mother pushed you off a cliff, and you must have lived a very hate-filled life. And now, you've taken everything I've gained since pushing you off the cliff, 18 years of my life, and smashed it all to pieces. I no longer have my beloved husband and daughter, and I've lost even my honor, and am being called a murderer. No, I really am a murderer, aren't I? Yes, that's right. It all went according to your plans. I'm now regarded as a killer. How's that? Is this enough for your revenge? My husband and daughter have been killed. I've been made to look like a murderer, like an adulteress even. After seeing me living in disgrace like this, are you satisfied? Yes, I'll bet you're quite satisfied. Because my family my honor, everything has been stolen from me. Oh. After all this, you still claim that you are framed. Seriously, you just don't know when to give up. Can you hear me? You, the cursed child from 19 years ago? Are you satisfied now? You've stolen everything from me now. What else could you want? Please, just forgive me. It's useless, isn't it? Adler? Huh? Adler-san, did you say something? It's all useless. Now, what kind of useless is this? Is this a I'm gonna fight back useless, or is this a I'm giving up useless? The Butler? Good? Yeah, it's useless, isn't it? So useless. Ah. Ah. Oh my god, of course that's the end. Of course that's the end. Epilepsy warning. Oh, here we go. Died before game start time. Died on first twilight. Really? Really? Alive at the time of game suspension? Game suspension? Why is the game being suspended? What a way to end things off, huh? Well, given that that was only like half an hour, I think I'll be able to I'll probably do the extra bits on it. Why is the game suspended? What's happening? Is Battler dead? Is Beatrice dead? I mean, it certainly ends at the game part, but what does this mean? Who was that person? Is the person from 19 years ago real? Did it actually have something to do with Lambda Delta? Are they a real person? Were they working together? Is this thing valid or not? What were they talking about? About like heaven and hell and stuff about like what does Beatrice has Battler learned anything? Fifth game, end of the Golden Witch. Is the Golden Witch dead? I don't know. Thank you. Thank you, Umineko, for always ending these things at the biggest, most unexpected, most what the fuck moments every single time. So you have absolutely no idea what any of this means. I actually do really love these. Every time I'm always just like, what kind of ending is that? It's happened 5 times and it still does it. The answer. Complete episode 5. What does that mean, the answer? We didn't get any answers. Well, we kind of got answers. But, like, well, now the question is, do we get the answers in the answer? Did we get the answers in the answer? Because, like, okay, like, what if we learned this thing, besides the fact that, Kinzo has been what's the word? Kinzo has been a, hallucination of Natsuhi this whole time, and has been for like a year, which we found out at the very beginning. What have we learned here? We've just learned that Bern Castell is an absolute asshole and cannot be trusted in the same way as Lambda Delta is also an asshole and cannot be trusted. They don't give a shit. This entire time, this game is only happening because Beatrice wants to show Battler something, and we don't know what it is, and he doesn't know what it is, and he was trying to apparently learn things, but I don't even know if he learned anything because he tried to stop it. He tried to stop these guys from like interfering in the game as sort of a way of like, letting Beatrice die in peace, but he apparently failed and got stabbed and impaled through the chest with red truth. The witches, because the witches cheat. What the fuck is Umineko? Who is Umineko? How is Umineko? What is this fucking game? Anyway, that's episode 5 Tea Party. Oh, great. Okay. What's this gonna mean? Erica, Lanor? Yes, my master. You called? I want you to stay in this fragment and explain everything in the remaining first through fourth games. What? Really? That pitiful transient witch who supports the illusion of the witch no longer exists herself. No longer... Transient witch who supports the illusion of the... As in, like, Beatrice or, like, someone else? Expose the naked truth thoroughly. Leave it to me, my master. There is no riddle that I, Furudo Erika, cannot solve. Of course. Yeah, because this is the answers arc, right? That's why you're my piece, my double. It's possible to explain all the past 4 games with Nazi as the criminal, or with certain irregularities based off of that theme. I won't let anyone say it's the crime of the witch Beatrice again. I'll start compiling it together at once and present a first-rate tale to you. You mustn't leave even... Oh, sorry, that was Erica, not Bernie. You mustn't leave even a single fragment of Beto's Legend of the Witch behind. The rumors among the servants, the way people talked about unexplained events as though that legend was the cause, the illusion of the witch that worked alongside the illusion of Kinzo, deal with all of it completely. Of course! I'll get to it right away. We now have the furniture in custody. We're hurrying to identify their vessels. Everything would be exposed and denied. I was just thinking as well as I was eating dinner that, you know, like this is a literal witch trial where it's like, hey, we have an answer we're going to do and we're going to twist the truth to make it. Like this is an actual witch trial. Einstein Jungfrau has already begun its investigation. According to the most recent results, there is high probability they were constructed during the 1960s in the vicinity of New York. Sorry? What? An aid has already been sent to the location. 1960s? The Seven Sisters of Purgatory are made in the USA? Even though they bragged about being furniture connected with King Solomon and serving a 1,000-year-old witch, they're a total sham. Who was it? According to the report, there's this group of big-time swindlers who make money selling fakes to rich fans of the occult. Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, this Steam release is literally called Umineko The Answers Are. So, yeah, that's the idea, but I don't know if that means that there's actual answers or this is like a subversion of the idea of this is an answer. Who knows? An execution is not a show, as a general rule is not made public. It is then inspected by the Great Lady Bern Castell, member of the Senate, so she can observe that the Great Court is performing its duty satisfactorily. Do you, as a mere inquisitor of heresy, deny her that right? So what's... Yeah, I already know. Thank you, Erica. Thanks to you, it seems I'll be able to forget the pain of my illness for a little while. You're just perfect, my peace, my double, and my adorable daughter. Your words are too good for me, my master. Oh, that's why. That was in the opening. They replaced it with Erica. Yeah. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. You'll eradicate and erase Beatrice's name and all traces of her. Until that is all finished, I will order that you be made master of this sealed-off Rockanjima. Oh, by the name of the Witch of Miracles, Bern Castell, I proclaim that you will be given the rank of witch until that day. From now on, you will call yourself Erica, the Witch of Truth. The Witch of Truth. Thank you very much, my master. I vow to work even harder so that this honor will not be wasted. Sanor, continue to aid Erica and report on her progress for me. Well, I guess we know who the villain is that Battler's gonna have to deal with, I guess, next time, right? Maybe? If Battler is still fucking alive. By the way, where's Lambda? She's over there. You sure remind me of Battler. You were an interesting guy. You might have become even more interesting, but too bad. What a wonderful way to die. Erica, you can hang Battler's corpse in the mansion's reception hall. Next time I come to visit this fragment, welcome me in front of it. Certainly, my master. I'll make that foolish man an eternal monument to my master's victory. It sounds wonderful, really tasteful. If you can coat him with plaster and make a beautiful white statue. And it'd be wonderful if you decorated him all cute. Yes, lambda is also a Greek letter, Rob. Lambda and delta are both Greek letters, yes. Let's meet again somewhere. However, we may not be reunited for another 100 or 1,000 years, if ever. It's okay. Sea of Fragments is tiny to a pair who love each other. A third man? No, children of paradise, of course. If you could escape the poison of just a single evening's worth of boredom, each time you smash one of those countless fragments that glitter like a starry night, even you'd want to count the stars in the sky. Ooh, not bad. Voyager wishes travel across the countless glittering futures of possibility, and gobble them up, trying to escape their illness called boredom as long as they can. The tiny, tiny fragment created by the human known as Beatrice had now been gobbled up by the two witches, and had lost its glitter. The two who had earlier called themselves rivals in front of Vito now stopped that charade and laughed together playfully. Erica, you rule this fragment, weave the truth, and create the tale that leads up to this world's demise. The next game is the 6th game, right? Yes, it's the 6th game. Decide the title for episode 6 yourself. After all, you're already the spinner of this tale, as well as the master. Thank you very much. Actually, I've already decided on one. Oh, already? Then let me hear it. What kind of title is it? Yes, episode 6. I'd really like to leave you hanging for a bit, but I'll tell you. Come on, stop being a smartass and tell us. And you bewitched like you shouldn't be teasing your seniors. Yeah, what is it? Episode 6. Checkmate of the Golden Witch. Okay, but is Battler dead or what? Checkmate. Yep. Great, but okay, so you actually can't you actually can't continue the episode until you do both the tea party and the question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay. All right. What's next? In the cathedral devoid of people, a figure could be seen still staring up at the heavens. Its chest pierced with a long red sword that pinned it place to the ground. That figure was Battler. Ironically, it looked just like what he'd done to Beta with blue wedges in the fourth game. Battler had died quite some time ago. No, in this place, the concept of death means nothing except that one has stopped thinking. Ah, of course, you gotta start thinking again. Therefore, in a sense, Battler was not dead. After being defeated in a fight over the truth and surrendering, he no longer had the strength to think of a way to resist. And that's what made him dead. Slano's massive longsword, which had been left in place of a tombstone, fastened Battler to the spot even after his death. This was all being lit by a faint light seeping out of an incredibly high skylight. Quiet footsteps rang across the still cathedral. Oh, hi, Beatrice. From the darkness behind a pillar, a woman slowly stepped forward. It was Beatrice. Just like they'd been the whole time in the Golden Land, her eyes had no light in them, and were still muddied over with grey. This person was once unable to even drink black tea to her satisfaction by her own will. But though it was slow, and there was no life, there was no life in her eyes, she was surprisingly walking. Then, with slow, deliberate steps, she reached Battler, who was still dead, pierced through. Then she slowly touched Battler. So yeah, what's she gonna do? She tugged on his sleeve. However, Battler showed no reaction. When she realized it wasn't sleep, death, the witch with the hopeless gaze let her hang even lower. Then she quietly whispered, "You, liar." Vito softly touched Battler. Then she pressed her forehead against Battler's chest. There was no longer any heartbeat. It wasn't just because he had surrendered. It was because the witches had chased him from the game board. So from now on, Battler would never return. So from now on, the Golden Witch Beatrice would have no reason to exist. Oh no. Thank you, liar. Goodbye. And sorry. What does that mean? Oh, it's just oh no. Is that it? Then the Golden Witch completed her task, and scattered as a spray of gold. Okay, no, it's not. No, it's not over. I was like, okay, well, that sounds like a place to end it, but it's not. It ended in the Golden Land. The grey rain gently continued to fall. There was a faint aroma of good black tea. Vito stared blankly at its surface. There was Vigilia continuing her knitting, along with me and Blanor talking to each other. Oh yeah, right. This scene, right? This is a recollection. A recollection from Battler's memory, which Dlanor's sword must have given him as it pierced him. What was she saying again? Recollection of the times Dlanor had come to visit the tea party in the Golden Land. Now I can't remember what she was saying. It's the same with me. The next time we cross swords, I won't hold back. Bring it on. I'll be your opponent. Come at me with all you've got. I promise. With everything I've got. Or, huh? I thought she was an emotionless killer role without a heart. Maybe she actually is pretty approachable, yep. Still, it really is terrifying. The way you fight. Nox's 10 Commandments, or the Decalogue, was it? Hang on. Sorry. I just heard a ding. What was that? What was that? I don't know what. Is it in tips? Yeah, there you go. Oh, damn. Where's where is Mothrex? They're not here, unfortunately. Here you go. Here it is. The Ten Commandments of the things. It's forbidden. Yeah, I'm not. What the hell? Noxus Fifth not included. Why is that? I don't need a screen. Okay, fine. I'll screenshot this. I'm like, I don't need to screenshot this because you can look it up whenever you want. But yeah, oh, you got the Ten Commandments. They were created by Lanor Anox's father. Anyway, but yeah, why is that not in? Whatever. Okay, well, at least that's there, so that's good. It's classic rules in the mystery genre, right? Yes, they are commandments conceived by my father. Hidden doors must not exist. That's Nox's third, right? It means there's no need for detectives to even look for hidden doors. Sounds pretty ridiculous. When Castell said it herself, she said that because they were forbidden by Nox's third, even searching for hidden doors was a waste of time. I like to counter that by saying it probably isn't so uncommon for a rich family's mansion to have a hidden door or two built into it. But apparently that sort of rule works perfectly well in the mystery genre. By the way, there exist many wonderful mysteries in which hidden doors appear, and where hidden doors are the thief. Of course, this is limited to novels which have the premise that hidden doors exist. If that premise doesn't exist, hidden doors must not exist. So because that premise doesn't exist, there's no need to search for hidden doors. I think that's probably the essence of her ridiculous argument. It's like the detective trying to expose the truth and the illusion trying to confuse it with a mixture of truth and lies. Are getting blended. Wait, it's like the detective trying to expose the truth and the illusion trying to confuse it with a mixture of truth and lies are getting blended together, leading to a bizarre form of argument similar to a devil's proof. Hang on. Yeah, sure. Whoops. Be right back.